What's up, everybody? This is GreyMan here. How's everybody doing today? Well, today we're going to kind of go in a different direction in the aspect of we're going to kind of focus on the ladies in the community and other folks and other ladies that might come across this video. All right, so moving forward, we're going to talk about 10 safety tips for women, and also, have some, we're going to talk about some safety tools, basically some EDC, everyday carry items that can also help you become more of a hard target versus a soft target. And basically, the whole thing I want you to get out of this video is be safe and don't become a victim. And if you stay to the end of this video, I have 2 bonus things to add to this list that might be very important to you folks. All right, so moving on, and we're going to start off with number 1. Be aware of your surroundings. This is the day and age where everybody's consumed by technology, specifically that little piece of technology you have in your hand, the phone. The issue with the phone is most people are either buried into the conversation, they have earbuds or headphones on, they're texting, they're just not aware of their surroundings, be it if you're grocery shopping, if you're jogging, if you're going for a walk. The key takeaway from this is to be aware of your surroundings. These things can distract you, and people will see that and find that as a weakness. Criminals will use that in their advantage to kind of size you up. If you're not paying attention and they are, that's going to give them the upper hand, and that's not a good thing. You want to have the upper hand in any situation. Now, that being said, if you are, let's say you're on a shopping trip by yourself, some key things that you can use to kind of be aware of your surroundings is like if you're walking down a street, right, and you're passing some storefronts that have a reflective coating on the windows or whatnot, you can kind of use that to kind of glance over and see the people behind you, see if anybody looks suspicious, if they're acting funny. Look at their demeanor and the way they're carrying themselves. Cross the street, and when you cross the street, try to keep and see if that same person is kind of following you. You know what I mean? As well. Also, you can use cars. If cars that are parked on the side, you look at some of their mirrors and their windshields and whatnot. Some people have tint and reflective coatings on them as well. So one key takeaway is be extremely aware of your surroundings. Now, if you're in fear of something like that, one good thing to do is put yourself in a scenario. Walk into a busy store. Walk into a busy food court. If you had the capabilities, if there's a fire station or a police station in that area, walk into one of those and say, hey, I have a feeling that someone may be following me or something like that. Make other folks aware of the situation. The more people around you, as they say, safety in numbers, the less that you're going to seem like a soft target. What I mean by soft target is someone who is vulnerable. The more complex that you make it for them to try to become to protect yourself from becoming a target is going to make it safer for you in general. Now, there's like I said, you can use a lot of multitudes of things with you. If you see stuff like security cameras above you, if you see, let's say, if you're like you're in New York or something like that, there's traffic cops. Just try to make people aware of what's going on. Maybe you want to call someone on the phone if they're right around the corner. But anyways, the main thing here is you want to walk into a busy shopping mall, a busy grocery store, surround yourself with a lot more people, and that will deter a lot of times these folks that are trying to cause you harm or try to rob you or whatever the case may be, commit some sort of criminal act. Okay, moving on to number 2. Don't fall for the charm or the sympathy card. And the way I can relate to this, and if you guys look at history, and I've seen this on Netflix a lot of you folks have probably heard of Ted Bundy. And the way he used, they stated that he was a good-looking, well, clean-cut gentleman, and they would, he would approach these women, and he would have his hand in a cast and say, hey, would you mind helping me take my groceries to my car? Or, he would seem like he's, fiddling with his keys or whatnot. And people out of the kindness of their heart would try to assist them, and then he would bludgeon them and throw them in the back of the car or a trunk or whatnot. So one key thing you want to be careful for is watch out for people that seem excessively charming, because most people look for stuff like people that are, that look like a thug or look like they have this demeanor towards them. Sometimes you got to watch out for those people that are charming. Even some of the older gentlemen out there, the little old white-haired old man, you know what I mean? It's just it's something that you don't want to fall for. They may have a false injury. They may seem like they're crippled with crutches or their arm in a sling, whatever the case may be. They may ask you stuff like they need help with their groceries, or maybe they want to ask you if you need help with your groceries. They may say something to the extent of, hey, I'm new to the area. Can you help me find my car? I've lost my keys. Whatever excuse that they may use to kind of get you intermingled and kind of move you from your safety spot and move you into a different direction where they have the upper hand. Because then once you go into an alleyway or something like that, or let's say they pop open your trunk or whatnot, basically they're trying to gain a position or an advantage where they have the upper hand. So you kind of want to be very vigilant and when stuff like that. Now here, one thing I always tell folks, if someone approaches you in a parking lot, be it a grocery store or wherever this may be, is say, hey, I can't help you, and don't try to be rude, but you can say, hey, I can't help you, but employ an employee or a security guard or someone else out there, or say, I'm not familiar area, you know what I mean? Try to remove yourself from that situation. And this is kind of going to move into number 3. Number 3 is going to be trust your gut. If something, what I mean by trusting your gut is if you get a feeling that something just isn't right, or if you feel a little creepy, or if you get goosebumps, never, ever, ever discount your gut feelings. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. So never, ever, if you get some sort of weird sensation or feeling, and you just have a feeling of dread or gloom, or whatever that feeling may come across you, go with that feeling, go with your gut, stay safe. 99.9% of the time, your gut is going to steer you in the right direction. All right, number 4 is don't let them get too close. Your first line of defense is going to be distance. The more distance you have from the attacker or the criminal, the better that you have, the better advantage that you have in that situation. So try to keep as much distance from you and the person that's trying to either cause you harm or trying to approach you in whatever manner that they are trying to approach you. Like I said, distance is your first line of defense. You can use things around you, for instance, like let's say shopping carts. You can keep that shopping cart, as a barrier between you and that person. You can use, if there's like railings, trees, or whatever that you can, something to keep someone from able to have the ability to grab you or lunge at you and control you. You know what I mean? So a couple things that you can use in this as well, and we're going to go over this a little bit more here in a minute, is having a few tools readily accessible at your disposal. You can have something like a sturdy umbrella, you know what I mean? Like depending on where you live, having an umbrella is commonplace. You can use this umbrella, to keep someone away. You can open it up to kind of like block someone, from either throwing something at you or whatever that you can think. It's like a shield almost in certain things. And we've seen, I'm not even going to go into it, but we've seen it used in other manners in the last year and a half. Also, some people have their stainless steel, coffee mugs with them, or, whatever they're carrying their water with them, stainless steel jugs or whatever they may, you might have on you. Some people like to carry their coffee everywhere they go. They're constantly sipping. I'm one of those folks. Love my coffee. But that can be used as a tool or as a weapon as well. Now, that being said, before I go any further, I want to let you guys know some of the things that I discussed in this video. When I may get into like pepper spray and stuff like that, make sure you check your local laws in regards to using certain tools, that I'm saying. If be it a firearm, be it pepper spray, being it whatever the case may be, stun guns, so on and so forth, anything that I discuss in this video, make sure with your local laws that you're allowed to use this, because I know there's some folks that watch this channel are from all over the U.S. as well as other countries. So make sure that your laws correspond to what you have available to yourself. You don't want to get yourself in trouble. Moving on, talking about pepper spray, some people call it mace and so on and so forth. Make sure you know how to use some of this stuff. Pepper spray, you want to properly know how to use pepper spray. And I know your heart's racing, you're scared, but if you can, one key thing to kind of pay attention to is the wind direction. If you feel the wind blowing in your face, if your hair is blowing back, if you push that button on that pepper spray, that's just going to come back and hit you in the face, and it's going to incapacitate you and make it easy for your attacker to have the upper hand. So kind of make sure that you know how to use pepper spray appropriately, and the best way to use that is by kind of being aware of the wind and certain other aspects of that. And when you do spray, you want to spray directly. That pepper spray may have a certain distance on there. So if it's like, let's say some pepper sprays only go 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, there's an angle of spray and stuff like that. So make sure you know how to properly use that pepper spray. And you could probably watch videos on specific brands of pepper sprays and properly use it. I'm pretty sure there's videos all over YouTube that teach you how to use pepper spray appropriately. You can use stuff like a tactical pen. Some people, still use checks or take notes or shopping lists. A tactical pen still works normally as a pen, but you can use this pen as a tool as well, as a jabbing tool or stabbing tool, whatever that case may be. So having a tactical pen on you, maybe say right in here, or on the edge of your purse, wherever the case may be, that might come as a additional benefit to you outside of just using it for a pen. I know, and then what I'm going to say next is some people are going to laugh at, but having a whistle, having an emergency whistle. There's some whistles geared more towards emergency use that have a higher decibel rate. So that might be something you might want to look into. And if you have any questions about any of the gadgets or tools that I discuss in this, please feel free to email me. My information is down below, and I can direct you to products that I recommend. Eventually, I'll have an Amazon storefront or something of that nature where you can kind of go there, or maybe once I get my website up, I'll have all that kind of stuff that you can use, and things that I've recommended and things that I have, let's say, purchased for Lady Grey that I have her use in her daily runs to the grocery store and whatnot. All right, moving on. Having a good knife on you as well. You see a lot of guys, we all have knives on us. We have them in our pockets. We have folders. Sometimes we have full tangs, whatever the case may be. I have different knives for different occasions, be it EDC or if I'm out in the woods or whatnot. But having at least a small knife on you is also another good deterrent. If people feel that if you're gonna cause them harm, they're less likely to pursue the situation with you any further. And then in worst case, like I said, if you have a concealed weapons permit, again, make sure that you look at your laws in your state. If you have a concealed weapons permit, know the laws on how you can use that firearm. If you can use deadly force in certain situations, so make sure that you're aware of the laws and how that works when you use a firearm. You don't want to just wave a firearm around as a deterrent. You don't want to do any, what's it called? I laugh at this because, the whole warning shots. I know people think that that's the smart thing is fire a warning shot. You're going to draw so much attention to yourself, and you're probably going to get in trouble. So don't do anything like that. Be aware of how to properly use a firearm and when you can and cannot use that firearm and the situations you can use it in. But having a CCP is a great thing, an additional thing, and a very, very deterrent, but you have to also be in mindset that you may take someone's life in that situation. You should never use a firearm in the aspect of to scare someone away. If you pull it, you're going to use it, and you're applying deadly force to something that's equal or more of deadly force being applied to you. But again, like I said, check your laws. In worst case, like I said, check your surroundings. You know what I mean? Look around your surroundings. If you don't have any of these tools, look around your surroundings. Maybe there's a branch on the ground. Like I said, your coffee cup. Some debris on the ground. Anything that you can use to protect yourself, that you can use as a weapon to use as a deterrent. To keep people away from you and from harming you, and to ward off these attackers. Now, number 5 is going to be get loud and angry. And I know some people are like, what do you mean, Grey? Get loud and angry? I don't want to be a Karen or something like that. You're not being a Karen. That's a whole different situation, and most of you guys know what that means and that whole little stigmatism that's associated with that term. But what I mean is getting loud and crazy, or loud and angry, my bad, is, be loud in an aspect of being vocal. You want to say, no, leave me alone. You want to draw attention to yourself in this situation. You want to draw more eyes on you, and by being angry, you're going to seem more combative, and less of, I'm going to use this term again, less as a soft target, because if you're a hard target, someone who is angry, combative, and so on and so forth, this person that's going to be trying to cause harm for you, be it the criminal, is going to be less likely to take it a step further, take it to that next step. So be loud and angry. In worst case scenario, it's a misunderstanding and you're a little embarrassed, but it's better to be a little bit embarrassed than to lose your life. So being loud and angry, number 5. All right, so number 6 is know your strengths and their weaknesses. So what I mean by that is, for instance, your elbow right here. Your elbow is one of the strongest points in your body. Okay, so knowing how to use that elbow can be very beneficial to you in self-defense. Also knowing weaknesses. There's a matter of fact, I have a list here because I wanted to make sure I was correct. But you want to make sure that you know the 5 weakest points on the human body, and you want to study those weaknesses. So you have the eyes, nose, throat, groin, and knees. Those are the 5 weaknesses. And maybe I'll throw up a little diagram here to show you the 5 weaknesses, the 5 most vulnerable parts on the human body. Now, like I said, when you apply some of these techniques, you need to be careful. Some can be deadly. The first thing, the eyes. Maybe you want to poke them in the eyes. Maybe you want to spray them in the eyes. whatever the case may be. If they can't see, they can't attack you. So that gains you the upper hand. If you punch someone in the nose, or use one of the tools that you have to hit them in the nose, usually when you hit someone in the bridge of the nose or in the nose itself, it's going to cause tears and pain, and they're usually going to, that reaction is to go like this or like that, and it gives you a chance to get away from the situation. Now this one, the throat can be a double-edged sword. You want to be careful by hitting someone in the throat. If you feel that if they're in their commission of a felony, let's say something like that, you want to assess that situation. But the throat is another very vulnerable area. I don't know if you've ever been hit in the throat accidentally or whatnot. It is very painful. But the thing is, you got to be careful in this aspect of that, because you can cut off someone's breathing, and that can create a lot of serious situations. So depending on the amount of forces being applied to you, you kind of want to give equal or more force when it comes to that in the aspect of what's transpiring. And again, know your local laws. I know I'm being repetitive with that, but I want you guys to be safe, not only for yourselves, but also safe in the eyes of the law. Another thing you can do is kick their knees back. Kick as hard as you can on the knees. It's, like I said, a very weak aspect of a person. If you've ever seen that happen, if you've ever had your, what is it called, the kneecap dislocated or whatnot, the kneecap pops out. There's a name for it. I can't come up with it at the moment. But anyways, it's very painful. So you can kick out their knees and disable them and get your chance again to run away from the situation, to move yourself outside of that situation. In worst case, I know guys are going to cringe at this, but it's kick them in the groin. If any man has ever been kicked in the groin, or you women out there have accidentally kicked someone in the groin, or you've seen your husband or son or whoever may be, or a friend, accidentally get hit in the groin, it is very, very, very painful, and it will incapacitate a pretty large man, or pretty much any man. It's very effective per se, right? All right, so moving on from that, we're going to go to number 7, and don't forget I have 2 bonus ones for this, 2 really good bonus ones that will be very beneficial to you if you stay through the entire video. I like to say that because some people will click off, but I just want you to watch this entire video because I feel like it's valuable information. But number 7 is don't ignore the red flags. So, Gray, what do you mean by don't ignore the red flags? Well, most attacks don't begin with brute force. They usually begin with someone coaxing you into a situation. They're going to coax you into some sort of private area. Basically, they're going to try to force you to relinquish your control of the situation, your control of the environment, your control of everything, and they're going to try to gain total control of that situation. So some of these tools that people like to use in regards to kind of lure you into a different situation, and they may be very polite about it, but they may pretend that they have something in common with you. They might be in the same situation as you. They're being extremely overly polite. They may be trying to use that politeness to manipulate you. If someone gives you way too many details, when someone it's like they've built this whole storyline. If someone's giving you way too many details, it might be an inclination to be lying to you. And when I took my criminal justice classes in college, they taught us how to read people and how to tell if someone's lying by their body language and the way their storytelling can be when they just fill it with too much information. Let's say if you have a bag of groceries in your hand and someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, can I help you? I'm going that way," or I live on the same floor, or I'm going to go visit a friend. Or they may analyze you and they say, "Oh, you have cat food in there. Well, let me help you get that cat food up to your cats." Whatever, they're going to use all these different types of excuses. They'd be like, "I'm meeting a friend over right where you're going." Let me see here. I'm trying to think of what else I can think of. Hey, like I said, the whole cat thing. But anyways, you kind of get what I'm saying. They're going to analyze you, and they're going to try to use that situation to kind of push you into that direction. So watch out for those red flags. Another thing is looking for unsolicited help. Basically, this is kind of the ball game of where I've been going with this. Is a lot of folks, they're going to solicit you, like, "Hey, you need help taking that to your car," or "Hey, let me help you with this," or "Hey, let me help you move these boxes into your home," or whatnot, or whatnot. They're going to use that against you in the aspect of like, "Oh, well, since I've helped you up the stairs, let me go ahead and help you bring it into your house. Let me help you set that on your counter. Why don't you leave your door open and I'll go grab the rest of the stuff and bring it in." You never want to do that stuff, especially people you don't know. And this can go in the same thing with the car. If you're approaching your car and someone says, hey, let me get that door for you, let me open your car, let me open your trunk for you, you're giving them more access to you, and that's the last thing you want to do. One key word that you want to look for is them discounting the word no. If someone discounts the word no, and as you guys know, no means no specifically. If you say no, that's a definitive answer, no. Refusing to accept rejection, these folks will try to come up with other excuses. So if you say no and they come up with they refusal to accept the word no, that's a huge red flag right there. So be careful. If someone asks you, they want to say something to you and you say no thank you, and they keep on being persistent, and they're refusing to accept that rejection, that is a huge red flag. So, all right, moving on to number 8. And we're going to just kind of culminate to what I was talking about earlier, is having a toolkit, aka EDC, or everyday carry. I think it's very important that just like men, that women have some sort of everyday carry items on their persons, in their purse, in their pocket, wherever the case may be, that you can carry some of this stuff. Now, we've touched on the bear spray, the mace, pepper spray, all the different names for it. And one suggestion I would say is, if you do buy pepper spray, if you can get the one that has a UV dye in it, basically what this does is it sprays your attacker and it incapacitates them, but also marks them for law enforcement. This UV dye, law enforcement will use a UV light. They will see that this person is marked, and that can help identify you, just in case you don't have great, let's say your memory's not that great and this person had black hair and a mustache, but you don't remember the entire aspect of it. Once they find that person that kind of resembles that description and they had that UV dye on them, that's a tall tale sign that that was the person that was attacking you. So if you can, get the one with a bit of the UV dye in there, it's going to be very helpful. Let's say, we all have keys. Having a defensive keychain, there's a lot of great keychains out there. Some have like a little folder knife on it, but one that's really common, at least in my area that I've seen a lot, is called the cat keychain. I'll put a picture up here for you. It's called the cat keychain. Very effective. It looks like a little cat. You can put it around your hand there, and it has the 2 pointing things for ears. It can do some damage. It can put some pain. It can definitely be an equalizer for you. And it's just a keychain, something you carry everywhere you go. Again, like I said, some of these items, like I said, you want to check your local laws. I hate to be redundant, but I just want to make sure that you guys are safe in applying and using, or before you purchase some of this equipment. Like I said, using a stun gun, a stun baton, or anything that's going to give you a jolt of electricity, or give them a jolt of electricity in the aspect of incapacitating them. Now, when using a stun gun, you want to be careful on how you use it, because some people have thick jackets on, leather jackets, multi-layers of clothing, especially in the wintertime, and it's going to be ineffective. So if you're going to use a stun gun or a stun baton or anything of that nature, you want to make sure that you apply it to skin. Wherever there's visible skin, be it, look on their body, if you see like their neck, if you're actually getting in that close, even if you hit their hands, it's going to give them a jolt where they're going to jump back. And I know it's just a way to deter them, and you're going to be, like, again, less of a target in the aspect of, like, you're being combative, and they're going to kind of want to step away from that situation. Now, don't get me wrong, there's criminals out there that can be very, very persistent, but the more tools that you have to your disposal, the more safe that you're going to be, and the better chances of you are of resolving that situation without your safety being compromised. Tactical flashlights comes in handy in multiple aspects. Tactical flashlights, if you're in a dark situation, you can light something up. Bright lights will affect someone's eyes. It'll blind them. If you know how to use that tactical light in the aspect of, having to put it on strobe, or just shining that bright light in someone's face when they least expect it, especially at night, it's going to blind them for a few seconds and give you the opportunity to remove yourself from that situation. If it becomes something that's up close and personal, most tactical flashlights have a ring around the top, and there's a name for it, but it escapes me at the moment. But you can use that as a weapon as well, as a defensive weapon for yourself to kind of knock that attacker back. And make sure if you decide to get a tactical flashlight, like let's say I use the Olight M2 Warrior Pro. Again, if you guys have questions in regards to these products, just feel free to email me, and I can point you in the right direction. But you can use it to ward someone off. You can use it to hit someone with whatever the case may be. They're very handy. So not only it gives you the light aspect for defensive mechanism, but also gives you the ability to use it as a weapon. And make sure, like I said, when you buy a tactical flashlight, make sure it's not some sort of plastic piece of junk. You want something, aluminum works great because it's lightweight. There's some ones that are metal out there, or some form of metal. Just do some research before you go out and spend some money on a nice flashlight. A high decibel keychain. Again, you're drawing attention to yourself. It just pulls apart, and man, they are loud. I've tested a few of them, and they're extremely loud. 134 plus decibels, 150 decibels. Some of them go extremely loud. That's going to draw much attention to your situation and what the situation that you're being put in at the moment. You know what I mean? So you can pull that. It's going to draw attention from people that are in the surrounding area. And hopefully there's some good Samaritans out there that will, come and see, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? Kind of situation, and scare off that attacker or criminal or thug or whatever it may be. And again, like I said, that kind of corresponds with the safety whistle. Safety whistles, a lot of people scoff at them, but they can become very handy because, man, there's some loud ones out there. And you can use a safety whistle. And believe it or not, if you think I'm joking, take one of these whistles one of these times and just for fun, go out to a park, go to a parking lot or whatever, and blow that whistle. Any function, blow that whistle and watch how many eyes will and how many heads will turn, like see what's going on. And if they see something weird going on, usually there's at least one good Samaritan that will come over there to help you. Again, you're pouring more attention to yourself and what's going on. Now, last but not least, this is what I would suggest to most folks out there, even beyond the ladies out there, the kids, anybody out there, is take a self-defense class. There's all different types of self-defense classes. See which one best fits you. It can benefit you so tremendously much. It's not only going to show you techniques to protect yourself, things that you can show other family members, but it's also going to give you more confidence and your ability to defend yourself, and that's just an all-around good thing. So if you can't take a self-defense class, be it boxing, karate, whatever that case may be, whatever works for you, take a nice self-defense class. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them out there. You can probably ask local law enforcement and other folks out there, other groups out there that might be able to assist you. They'll point you in the right direction of what's beneficial, because you want to make sure that the self-defense class you take is credible. The teacher, has been highly recommended, has good reviews, and so on and so forth. All right, Gray. Moving on to number 9. Number 9 is don't leave things around your yard. Even I'm guilty of this. We get complacent. It's our yard. It doesn't matter. We can leave these things. I'll pick it up later. It can be something as simple as a spade, different types of rakes, ladders, all these different tools for your gardening, things that you might use to be cutting the hedges, and so on and so forth. People can use these, A, for weapons, B, for ways to get into your house. Like a ladder can be used to go up to that second-story window if you have a second story, because most people forget to lock and latch those second-story windows. Or they can use it as a battering ram. They will use these on easy access points like your windows, your sliders, your French doors, even your front doors, side doors, garage doors, and so on and so forth. You don't want to leave anything out in your yard that someone can use for a way to either break into your house or as a tool to harm you or someone in your family. Now, a couple things that I want to add to this is, you want to keep your yard as clean as possible. For example, brushes. You want to keep your bushes and trees trimmed. That gives less options for someone to hide in the bushes or behind a tree or whatnot. The more cleaned up it is, the more you can notice things out of place, and gives the opportunity for someone to hide. Gives them less of an opportunity for someone to hide behind something like that. Also, if you can have floodlights, motion detection lights, security cameras, solar lights, in specific areas of your home, especially the dark areas, your corners, your back lot, or whatever the case may be. I know some people have these large properties, but the main thing is you want to at least surround your immediate living area with lights and the capability to kind of keep an eye on things. Usually things that are brightly lit is somewhat of a deterrent to a lot of criminals. They want something dark and easy accessible where they can have some sort of cover. And by a couple tips, pardon me, I apologize. Around your windowsills, you can grow like thorn bushes or rose bushes or something like that around your windowsills, and that's going to deter people from trying to come up to the windows, because then it's going to be a lot less accessible and more complicated to reach places like that. So, and also it'll knock down peeping toms and stuff like that as well. So if someone's trying to creep on there, if you have young children, or just someone's trying to analyze the situation and look into your house and see what your daily activities are, it's going to keep those people away from stuff like that. So like I said, thorn bushes, rose bushes, anything of that nature, put them around your windowsills and areas to make it less accessible for those folks. All right, so another thing that you can do to protect your windows is you can use like wood braces, metal braces. You can use stuff like wooden dowels, 2x4s, anything to add additional protection to your windows, because usually the little locks on your windows are very easy to pop. I don't know if you've ever been locked out of your house and broken into your own house. I'm like, wow, that was too easy. Plus, if you forget to latch the window, this is going to add a benefit thing to it. So, you know, like I said, inside your windows, depending on the way they are, if you have a window, I wish I could just draw a description, but I don't. But you guys probably get the idea. You want to put that brace in there so that if someone tries to lift up on it, they can't get in there. And usually some people will try to put the brace on just one side of the window. I either say dead center or use 2 additional braces, because if you only use it on this side, they can kind of lift that window to this side, you know what I mean, and kind of pop it off its hinges or whatnot. So be vigilant in the way that you use these braces and use them appropriately. And like I said, there's also different things that you can use for your sliding doors and stuff like that. They have pins that you can drill a hole into and put these metal pins in there. They have these braces on the bottom and top. Like I said, more towards the middle, because, you know, some people can just pop these things out. If you ever watch some of the things that criminals do, you'd be surprised how easy it is to get through some of these sliders and whatnot that you might have on your home. All right, number 10. Here we are. So before I go into number 10, if you've gotten at least some great value or some information you think is beneficial to you and others, please share this information out. If you can, please give me a thumbs up. I truly appreciate that. Of course, you know, again, it always helps with the YouTube algorithm. I want to get this information out because I find it's very important for you ladies out there to be safe. You know, you guys you hold a special place in our hearts. In our families, you're special to someone, no matter someone's out there. And if anything was ever happened to you, you know, it would be very hurtful to, at least for me, if I lost either my daughter or my wife to any situation, be it if they were, you know, if their life was taken or if they were brutally assaulted, that would make me feel like I failed. So I would hopefully this information will help this stuff from preventing from someone that you know, yourself or your family or other friends that you might know that might be benefit from this information. All right, so number 10, online safety. Man, this is a huge one for me because so many folks out there today use these apps like Snapchat and TikTok and Facebook and all this stuff like that, and they literally put their entire schedule on there, from what they eat every day to, let me see, all their personal information. You know, people don't understand it. People millions and millions of people have access to this information. You know, they'll post their work schedule, they'll post their vacation schedule. Hey, I'm on vacation, look at me. Or hey, you know, I'm doing this. Or hey, you know, this is my work schedule. Oh, it sucks. Or whatever the case. They not realizing they're giving someone with an opportunistic concept in their head to know exactly where you are, what you're doing, and so on and so forth. So someone can actually use this information to see where you're at, and either go do something to your home or stalk you into the aspect of trying to follow you and find your most weakest link along your day. You know what I mean? So be very vigilant on the information that you put out there. You want to be very, very careful with your personal information on any type of social media. You know, I understand what social media is there for, specifically, let's say, platforms like YouTube, but I've seen people, and we've heard stories that people have used people's location tags on Snapchat and other platforms that they use to find and use it against these people. So be vigilant, be very protective of your personal information. Don't put too much out there, you know what I mean? You want to celebrate a birthday or whatever the case may be, I understand, but just be careful on what you put out there and be, you know, like I said, be aware of what you're putting out there, because outside of just your realm, even if you have your Facebook or your whatever social media platform you use, you have it privatized, there's ways around that. I myself have used techniques like this in the past to see and to test the vulnerabilities, and it does work. People will have a lot more access than you think. All right, so that wraps up all 10 of my, where are we at, Gray? 10 of my safety tips for women. My apologies. 10 safety tips for women. Now we're going to get into, since you have stayed here this whole time and you're in the bonus section of my list, I'm going to give you 2 awesome bonus things to add to this list, and I think they're very beneficial, and thank you so much for watching the entire video. I truly appreciate that, and now you're going to be more informed. So number 1 bonus, there's only 2. Number 1 bonus is be alert on vacation. Man, we go on vacation, we become complacent, we're happy, we're enjoying, we have family, we're not thinking about things, we're letting our guard down. Big mistake, big mistake. Think about it. You're in a new area that you're unfamiliar with. The people around you, you have no clue who they are. Basically the attacker has the upper hand on you. A couple things that I can suggest, specifically, let's say you're in a hotel situation or vehicle or whatever it may be, specifically the hotels that you may be staying in, keep your room door locked at all times with the additional brackets and stuff like that on there. And the reason I say this is because even people who work for these companies, these hotels, there's been some instances, and I'm pretty sure you've heard the stories. So if you're in your hotel room specifically, especially if you're alone and your family's out doing something and you're not feeling well or whatever the case may be, put that on there, and when your family comes back, they'll try to open the door and you go, hey, who is it? And you can see the person, and then you can say, okay, let you in. You want to do everything to protect yourself. One big mistake that a lot of people do is they leave the extra room key when they go out on the thing. If you go out as a family or whatnot, someone says, well, we just need the one. I don't want to carry that one. They'll leave it on the nightstand or somewhere in the room, and someone will see that as an access point to you. Not only to you, but to your personal belongings. So do not leave those cards unattended. Keep one as a backup in case you lose the other card. You want to keep that card because, like I said, people will use that against you. They will find you as a soft target and they will abuse that situation. Most criminals are opportunistic, and by seeing that, they're going to, you're a foreigner to wherever you're at, be it it's in a different city, different town, or different country. Whatever the case may be, they're going to see that as an opportunistic situation to do something bad. Even people that are not criminals will use that. It's an opportunity they see to make a couple extra bucks, or whatever the case may be. I'm not that way, but you never know who may be. Now, one other thing with that is, like I said, you want to be careful with the people that work in these places. If someone knocks on the door and says, "Hey, I'm hotel maintenance. I am a whatever," they work for the hotel. Before you open that door, call down to the front desk and ask them, "Hey, so and so here is blah blah blah. Did you send them to my room? Why are they here? So on and so forth." Be inquisitive. Being inquisitive is just making you a lot more safe. Ask them why, who they are, why they're here, and so on and so forth, and then verify with someone else that that person has a reason to be there. So, like I said, the more informed you are, the more protective you are, the more safer you're going to be. And also, there's a big, huge thing where people get fake uniforms, fake badges. Maybe when you go down to when you check in, you want to be like, hey, what are your security procedures? What do your badges look like? Kind of verify some information. That'll make your vacation more safer and prevent anything bad from happening on something that you're trying to have a good time with, you and your family. And like I said, especially if you're traveling alone, be extremely vigilant. That's when a lot of bad things happen. People disappear in other countries and even in other cities and towns. So just stay safe out there, please. All right, moving on to bonus number 2, car safety. A lot of people, when they're in your car, you feel like this bubble, like you're in a bubble of safety. A lot of people get complacent in their vehicle as well. Be aware of your surroundings. And let's say you're pulling up to your house. So you see your house, you feel safe. You're in your car, you feel safe. You're still vulnerable to a certain extent. So make sure you have, when you're pulling in your driveway, make sure it's well lit, for one thing. Make sure you have proper lights, motion lights, other lights, porch lights. You have all that well lit. And before you exit the car, before you unlock those doors and exit the car, several things you might want to take into perspective. 1, check all your mirrors. Check your rear view mirror, check your side mirrors, just to see if anybody happens to be lurking around your vehicle, on the side of your vehicle, trying to hide around your vehicle. They're gonna try to sneak up and be as sneaky as possible. Also, just look around your windows. If you look around all your windows, your mirrors, make sure before you unlock those doors and exit that vehicle, you're safe. Now, there's some other things that you can do. Besides that, like I said, if you're gathering your things, make sure that you have one of your EDC tools ready. Make sure maybe you have your pepper spray, maybe you have your tactical pen, maybe you have your stun gun, whatever. Have it in one hand and ready to use. That'll give you a one step above to be prepared for something that may or may not happen. But at least you're ready for that situation. And being ready is going to be half the battle in the aspect if you are approaching, you didn't see something and something happens to happen. Another thing you do, if someone is at home, give them a call and say, hey, I'm home. Have them open the door, turn on some lights, come out there and meet you. Again, the more people, safety, and numbers. So that there's, like I said, kind of, if you want to, you can make a list of some of those things, trying to entrench that into your thought process. And this can go in the same premises if you're parking at a at a hotel, if you're parking at a grocery store, if you're wherever that that you might be in your vehicle and you're about to exit your vehicle. Be aware of your surroundings, look in your mirrors, just be highly vigilant. And once you become accustomed to that, it'll become like second nature. And like I said, it'll make you a lot safer. And like I said, in the home situation, a lot of people don't think that you're going to be attacked there. But if you look at stories, a lot of things happen. A lot of things happen within a mile of your home. So just be vigilant, be safe. That's all I ask of you folks. I just hope, like I said, you find this video informative and educational. And if you did, like I said, the thumbs up is going to help. You watching truly helps. But share this out. If you have other social media platforms, whatever they may be, if Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, MeWe, Getter, Gab, Rumble, whatever platform that you have, share this video out to folks. You can go down there below and it says share, and it'll give you a copy URL, and you can post this somewhere else. You can post it on your website, you can post it in your feed, you can use anywhere. If you feel that someone's going to get value out of this, someone that you may know, maybe you have a group of a women's group, or you have other folks you think that can benefit from this information. Now, as always, please let me know down in the comments if you have any additional safety tips that you would suggest or add to this list. What is your best safety tips for women? I would love to hear your opinions and your advice, how other things can, and I love it to see the interaction down in chat, people sharing ideas and stuff like that. I love that interaction. Truly appreciate that. Anyways, this is GreyMan. I truly appreciate you. Thanks for watching this video. Truly appreciate your time. And I will see you guys, tomorrow is Tuesday. So tomorrow is Tuesday. We're going to be live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my first international panel, a preparedness community panel of people from Australia, South Africa, Canada, and the U.S. I think it's going to be truly intriguing. We're going to kind of get a well-rounded situation and talk about everything that's going on in today's society, be outside of the U.S., that's also happening over in different places. And we'll kind of get more information outside of just mainstream media. So stay tuned for that. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live on the Grey Exchange. This is GreyMan. I'm out. God bless. You guys have a blessed day. See you on the rebound.